Alf. Oh, I didn't put LinkedIn as a destination, but whatever. Let me message him. Oh, because he just got a new job. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yo. Oh, hold on. Let me just text him. All right, cool. All right. What's up, Rishabh? Someone asked about you yesterday. They were like, "Where's Rishabh?"
Oh, yeah. I was
You
tired.
you were missed. Yeah, but I felt like the last couple of streams I've done, I haven't done them with you, so I
Yeah, yeah,
guess
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what made them ask.
Yeah, so no, I've been busy moving. I think you did. Yeah, there were 2 streams then. And then I feel like I was just trying to settle at the new place.
Hmm.
Along with you being sick, I think we didn't stream those 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think I was out of town for like
yeah.
a week, or maybe like that could have been 2 streams, and then I was sick for 2 weeks,
hmm
and then
You
it
still
was
streamed, but those were like
yeah,
reactor sessions,
yeah,
right?
it was like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolute have to. If not, I was like trying to avoid them, and
Yeah.
then I I did a stream with Chloe just so I could see how my voice was doing, and it was like towards the end it was terrible.
hmm
And then yeah, now we're here. Oh, and then I did yesterday, which I wasn't gonna do, but then I messaged you. I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna do this like now. Um, but yeah. Anyway, here we are.
Yeah.
Someone was asking about help desk and like videos for help desk, like videos on like our worst experiences. Because
In help desk.
I was talking about what was I talking about? Oh, the Ryko printers and replacing toner, and how I used to hate doing that, and I hated replacing the phones, especially the ones that were mounted on the wall, because the brackets would always break, because they were like impossible to take to take off without like a bunch of force. Yeah, I was talking about that, and then I said something like, "Oh, I have like help desk horror stories like a
Yeah,
lot,"
yeah, yeah.
and then they were like, "You should do a video on it." I was like, "Oh, I should get Rishabh to do it too, because I know you have some
Yeah, we
solid help
could
desk."
we could collaborate on it, like we did for the certification one.
Mm. Oh, Alf. I invited Alf, but he's playing soccer, so. Oh well. Um,
Yeah,
it's cold out. It's like 40. No, it's like, let me see.
it was snowing here yesterday
It is
and today.
46 and about to rain here. There's no way I would go play soccer right now. Dude, our Sunday game was wild.
Nice.
We won 10-4. But the first half was like back to back. It was like I think we ended like 5-4. They were up. No, 4-3.
So this
Like
first half they were up.
they were up. They had a solid team. They were like, but they started getting frustrated with themselves. And so they
Okay.
started yelling at each other. They were like, "Why aren't you doing this?" And like
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
one guy didn't want to sub. Um, one guy was like, "Sub, sub, sub," and the guy like didn't want to. So they were like, it was hard to seek. And then at one point, one guy was like raising his leg a lot, and then he like
Uh
scraped one of our guys like against his shin, and like he left like marks on him, and he did it like twice. And the second time, our teammate got like pissed off, and he went up to his face, and then it almost started a fight. Then we had to break that apart. And then after that we were at like 4-3 still then. And then after that, we kept hitting goal after goal after goal after goal after goal. Alf got a like crazy goal too. And then I feel like after we hit like maybe two goals in a row, they just fell apart, yelling at each other, wanting to fight
yeah.
each other, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was, man, it was, I was like,
Pretty good.
oh, I was like, guys,
Pretty
it's,
dramatic.
It's like it's a Sunday league. Like, why are y'all like arguing this much over
Yeah.
this? And you're a team. I felt so bad because it's a co-ed, so there's girls and guys.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for the girls because like they were just there, like playing, having a good time.
And usually, I'm guessing this is like a league you sign up for, and you can also sign up as an individual. Right?
Yeah, like free agent.
And they put
kind
you
of thing.
into like a rooster. Yeah.
Our team has been together for 3 seasons now. We're just about to sign up for the summer. So our first season was like getting to know each other.
Oh yeah.
And then last season I like missed the majority of the games because I was traveling so much. But now I'm like gonna do all of them, and it's like the camaraderie we have now is like it's getting like way better.
Yeah. That's
but-
what. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
You had
it's-
like a
it's rough.
actual European League kind of vibe to your match there. I wish you would have recorded it.
Yeah, I was just like so because we're all like everyone there is easily above like in their mid-20s, older, right? And like you're fighting with each and the saddest part was like they had all the pieces to have like a fantastic game against us. Because our team is great. Their team is great. They had everything, but they just destroyed each other. Sad.
Well, I went to play soccer. You saw my IG story. I went to
Was
play
that like
soccer.
2 days ago?
Yeah. And I haven't played in I want to say months.
Yeah.
Almost 8 months, because that's when last league was open in Kingston, and then they closed it down again due to COVID. But it was highly competitive here.
Yeah.
I was like drained. Like I was so done. In the first 15 minutes, I was done. They got so competitive, and it was really fast paced. Like, and I used to play wingers, but now I just play like center back or midfield. And that position, like when they're attacking, you need to run to the defense, and when you're attacking, you have to go up.
Yeah, you move up a lot.
So you're running constantly back and forth, and yeah, it was just so tiring. I might just stick to volleyball until like I get back in shape.
Dude, no, I've been running. This is a cool thing. I shared this in my story. I've been trying to run every single day, and I've been doing it consistently for about 2 weeks. Even though when I shared it on my story, that was only a couple days ago. But that was like I want to first like get into the flow of it before I like share something, because then I'm like I don't know, I don't want to quit on it. But I've been doing it every day, like 2 miles every day.
Nice.
And today was the first day where I was like, all right, this doesn't suck, because like running sucks, dude. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love it. Once I'm in the flow, it's amazing. It's like that same kind of feeling that I get when I code, when I'm just like so focused. But it freaking for me, it's like those first 3 minutes, it's like the toughest thing to go through. But I feel like today was the first time I was like, all right, I love this.
Mine is like, I don't know if it's the first 3. Like, I think it starts right about, like 5-minute mark where, your chest starts aching and stuff. When you're starting to sweat and stuff. And like, after that, once you're in flow, it's good.
Yeah.
But same thing happened like with the soccer too, is like, as soon as I started running, and I'm like, I think I've been only on the ground for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, I need to sub out. I'm done.
It's also like, I think it's just it's aggressive, and also it's like you'll go from like jogging, sprint, back to jog, back to sprint. And I think those changes, which I'm trying to like incorporate sprinting in like my running too, it's like those things are like the massive ones that I was like, because you'll go full sprint for like 30 seconds, and then like you're like out.
Yeah, you're not coming back.
Yeah, but anyway, we're talking too much about soccer. I left my job and the wind was blowing, and why it was getting cold again. Yeah, I think this week is hopefully the last week of bad weather, and then we start off like great, fantastic weather.
Yeah, we had like 2 great days here. Like it went to
the weekend was great here.
Yeah, the weekend was great. I'm doing some conversions here.
Ali says, "Welcome back, Rishab."
Yep.
Hi, Rishab and Gwen. Hi, everyone. Is anyone here participating in the challenge, the AZ700 challenge? I think we've got up to like the last time I checked it was like 300. I wonder what it's at now.
I was so happy. So when you were doing the live stream, when the challenge went live at like 12 noon, there were only 10 people.
Yeah.
And that too, like I know they were on the Discord when I said, "Hey, the challenge is live. Gwen
Yeah.
is also live, right?" I was on the top because I already did one module, and that thing only stayed. I think there, like my name stayed there for like I don't know, maybe 2 hours at max. And after that, I couldn't even catch up because there were some individuals with like 6, 7 modules already in, and I'm like,
It's I think it's the tricky part, and what I want, you know, the team that works on these challenges and learn and stuff like that to figure out is how, because you know some people will have the modules done already,
yeah,
and like
and
they
it
can
counts it.
and it counts it, and you know that's fair game with the system that it is now. But we still have plenty of vouchers to give out people if y'all are interested, and you know I don't want y'all to feel like oh I don't have to do it anymore because there's no vouchers to win. Now there's still plenty to give out, even though there's like I think there's more than 50 people that have completed the challenge by now. Maybe not, I don't know, but not everyone has reached out. So I know we still have a couple more to give out today, but outside of that, there's still plenty to win. So
Yeah, and feel free to like join our Discord.
oh yeah, you set up the redirect.
URL, yeah, redirect.
Nice.
I'm like,
nice.
make it easy. Like every time we are generating invites and stuff.
I yeah, because I was looking, you can get like a custom invite, but you have to pay for that. I was like, that's so dumb.
Yeah, I'm like, there's probably like I could do a 301 permanent redirect to one
Yeah.
of the not expiring invites, right? So,
Yeah.
and it worked. So
Perfect. This is perfect. This works great. Just discord.learntocloud.guide. Oh, beautiful. Love it.
I'm gonna do that for like twitter.learntocloud.guide, instagram.learntocloud.guide.
GitHub.learntocloud.guide. All of them. Do we have a TikTok? I don't know if we have a TikTok.
We don't have it. No.
I've been contemplating, I told you this, because we used to have the Cloud Code Life podcast.
Yep.
And I've been thinking, and because I know you have been getting into more of like career, like not the human side, but not the non-technical side of a career,
Yeah.
where you're talking about rejection, you're talking about like certifications that you found useful, and just stuff about your career that you've learned. And then I've been doing that as well, and I think those topics are like great opportunities for us to kind of just dive deeper into. But I've noticed that when I just talk about it by myself, I feel kind of weird. Like when I do a video on it by myself, I don't know. I feel like it just feels like it's weird because it's like so focused on me. But I feel like their topics are important to address. But if there was like the ability to have like a back and forth or a conversation on them, I think it would be like way better. So I wanted to bring back Cloud Code Life and do like a season 2 with just like a bunch of like career focused topics. Or we'll do like Learn to Cloud, more focused one, and then we can bring in like community members to also talk about things. That I don't know yet. It's just the thing about the podcast is like so much planning.
Yeah.
And I would love, honestly, I would love if someone from Learn to Cloud would want to take the initiative and like do it, and then like they would own that. But
Yeah, we would have to work on it, especially with summer coming. Like I know.
I want to do well. The reason I wanted to like sort of do it back is like I want to like use the reactor as a space where people in New York can come record with me. So I'm sure like I've been going to a lot more tech meetups lately, and there's like plenty of people who would want to like just hop on like. But I don't want them to like, hey, come to my apartment and like we'll record an episode here. No, right? So I'll be like, which is also why I said like, hey, would you guys interested in doing like a meetup sometime in August? Because there's like we have the space here, and I'm just trying to figure out how to best like utilize it. Like I have access to like organizing stuff at all times. I could even like potentially get less catering and things like that, but I just need to know what people want, right?
Yeah,
So
that'd be nice. I'll be down if it's in August. Probably.
I mean, I ideally want to build like a cloud computing meetup that meets up every month or potentially twice a month there at the Microsoft Reactor, where it's like an hour of networking. Maybe it's like an hour of like working on something together, and then an hour of networking.
Yeah,
and it's
totally.
either like,
And you can ask like the community members to do like a 1 hour session, and every
Yeah.
time it's a different person.
I met up with Kevin. He's on the Discord, and we're gonna do some advanced bicep series for the reactor. But that's what like kind of gave me the idea of like we have so many people here who are willing to like kind of just like workshop stuff. But I truly do feel like the in-person community thing is like it's just like I go to them and I'm like, this is amazing. Like
Yeah.
I miss it. I especially with working remote all the time. It's like you have to like go out of your way to create these kind of opportunities and communities.
For sure.
Alf's doing something too. I don't know. I think he says he's gonna come on. He can probably talk about it then. But hold on, we got here just an 11-hour drive from South Carolina. Yeah, I mean the thing about New York City is like hate it or love it. It's like extremely accessible in terms of like if you're in the nearby states, you can. There's buses, there's trains, there's planes, all those kinds of things. And especially Times Square, because like Port Authority, which is like a major bus station, is like literally one half a block, or like right across the Times Square, and you stayed like a block from it.
Yep.
Yeah, in the hotel, right? Here's a good question. Sorry, it's a general question. How do you guys always motivated to be the best?
What drives you? Man?
What drives me? I don't want to be poor. I don't know. It's like I remember so vividly, getting started and all the rejections and all like the ridicules that you go through with like being, having no degree and then having no experience and being a woman and, not being, I don't know, being different and all these kinds of things, like getting started in the space. And like those memories are like so vivid. I'm like, I'm never going back to that. So in the morning when I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to work. I'm like, Gwen, you literally work your dream job. You literally your dream company, make an insane amount of money. Like, why would you not like do your absolute best today? And then usually that's enough for me to be like, yeah, I gotta go do the best work that I can. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I vividly remember me working at a gas station, so that plays out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think we kind of have pretty similar, not backgrounds, but kind of things that drive us. It's like you are an immigrant, the struggles that you have gone through. You don't have a degree, so, and we have already seen the industry, like how it has changed over the years. Like I'm seeing good improvements, but still has a lot that needs to be figured out. But I think just seeing those wins in our own careers just I think keeps us going. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, I think I don't take any of it for granted. I mean, also like my parents are like very, very hardworking. Like they instilled a very, very tough work ethic. Like growing up, I would like unfortunately like rarely see my parents. Like my mom worked 3 jobs, my dad would work 2 jobs, and it was also kind of me and my brother. Alf's here. Oh my goodness, Alf. There we go. What's up, Alf?
Hello, how's it going?
Hey, Alf. I'm seeing you like after the last stream we did, right?
Yeah, basically, I think so.
Yeah.
think
First of all, should I go ahead and
Go ahead and what?
congratulate him?
Oh, I don't know. Is it
Yeah.
public?
Yeah, it's midway public, I guess. I haven't explained yet, but yeah, it's gonna be the week
I'll just
where I
congratulate you
mention.
for the amazing win that you had yesterday.
I was telling him about our game where people almost fought. The other team almost fought each other.
Yeah, that was a pretty good win. I think it was pretty fun. We got 10-4 out of nowhere, just playing in 7. So pretty good.
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
I forgot about that. They had plenty of subs. We had no subs. We were playing exactly 7 with two borrowed players. Like it wasn't only 5 of us were on like our actual team. It's quite the interesting.
It worked out well. I'm pretty happy with how our team went. And then I literally just came. I'm literally still have my shin guards on, and
You just
I
played
literally enter
a
the door
game?
and enter. Yeah, someone asked me to play on their team, and that's it. So I
The
literally still have my shin guards on and everything, and I came from another win, and
the
that's it.
dedication that goes in.
Nothing but W's.
Oh well.
Cool, cool. Oh, hold on here. We were talking about meetups, and I know you're doing like is it just Svelte? I think it's Svelte, right?
Well, society, yeah.
All right, so it's just like, or is it more of a broad?
It's so Svelte Society is like the organization that like it's like runs the Svelte community overall, like events in the Svelte community is been around. It's a little bit around the world. There's folks a little bit. There's meetups everywhere, and I'm one of the co-organizer for the New York one, like the New York event. So yeah, now we are reorganizing the second meetup after there was an hiatus for like the pandemic, so obviously no one was having meetups around, but now we are reorganizing for like this is like the second meetup that we organize, and then I'm organizing a bunch of other smaller one, like a little bit of projects around it. My goal is really to just get the meetup scene started again in New York, because it's time to get people back together talking about tech stuff.
Dude, you gotta come to. Have you been to Coffee and Code? They do it in Brooklyn. It's pretty
I'm
big,
not.
actually.
I know that there is like something Brooklyn for Brooklyn JS, but I also know that they are not restarting it, which is pretty sad. So we might look into doing something like that, but we will see. There's nothing there yet. I wanted to do a bunch of things for React, for AWS and similar, but yeah, you just always have to find folks to work with, because it's hard to like organize a whole meetup on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have the space and the catering, except for AWS stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with not doing the AWS stuff. Honestly, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with doing cloud stuff, cloud user groups or
I
something.
want to do a general cloud one, and this is something we could probably work on together. And I was just telling Rishabh this. I want to do like maybe a bi-weekly or a monthly kind of thing, where it's just like an hour of networking and an hour of like, I don't know, working on something. And it could potentially be weekday evenings, or it could potentially be one weekend a month from like 11 to 1 or something like that.
Yeah, I think like we for what my experience has been is like people come pretty happily during the middle of the week,
Oh, cool.
because it's like, oh, I just get out of work and then come in. So it worked out for like a Svelte meetup, because like there were like 25 people or something for the first one, which was very good.
Yeah.
We're expecting much less, and so now that it's like when there is the space and there is like convenient for everyone, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, well, we can figure out like that, but I do want to do like a general cloud one or
Yeah,
something like that.
I would love to work on that. I can't see. I would spoil stuff if I talk about it, but yeah, like my new company is interesting doing stuff. So
Okay, good to know. We'll talk about it more on the next one then, because we don't want to spoil anything.
I mean, it's
Um,
almost there, but yeah.
Here's a good one. It's your opinion on motivations versus discipline.
I don't think they are two separate, like very separate thing. I feel like one feeds the other to a degree. Like if you think about it, when you are motivated, the motivation brings in the discipline of continuing to work on something. Or
Yeah,
if you're disciplined enough, you get motivated by the fact that you continue working on something. But the thing is that I guess it's more motivation brings discipline than discipline brings motivation, because a lot of people are maybe like, if you get stuck on something and you can be as disciplined as you want and continue working on it, but if you don't see the breakthrough, you may lose motivation.
yeah,
So I feel like you have to start somewhere, but you have to find the balance, like one fosters the other, I think.
absolutely. Yeah, motivation is like that spark, but like discipline is what's gonna keep you going.
Yeah.
Like when it gets like really really tough, right? But yeah, you need both. I mean, I have the same opinion here. Someone said people come very happily to cool places. I went to Tableau meetup at a Patriot Stadium. That was What? They got I don't think we could do that.
They do it on the scoreboard. There is like the thing.
There's a session going on.
Jeez. Let's see.
50,000 people at the tableau meter.
Oh my god. I've been doing offline meetups for the past 6 months as a Google Developer Student Club's lead. I gotta say, offline has a huge difference, amazing vibes. And then they said, usually 1 hour talks, then we make the circle after where we gather all the attendees to introduce and talk about themselves. I think that's great. See, and I would want our meetups to be like where we're like driving and encouraging. That way people aren't just like sitting around like, because sometimes people need like maybe they're shy or they don't know what to say or whatever it could be. Just like a little like not hand holding, but like, you know, just
Inviting, yeah.
yeah, like be like, oh, let's talk about this, or maybe we'll have like we'll mimic a stand up or something like that. What's everyone working on? What does everyone do? That kind of stuff. That would be so cool. I mean, New York City is the place to do it.
That's how the Svelte Society meetup actually works. There is like a 20 minute at the beginning where people just mingle, get started. Then there's like 45 minutes of like lighting talks. Then there is an open forum where whoever wants can just go and show their work, what they've been working on, and then we go to a bar after that. So
Perfect.
Nice.
that's usually that's how it worked last time. We had a longer talk because Rich Harris, the creator of Svelte, actually was on giving a talk and giving a lot of coverage on SvelteKit 1.0. So but then we went to a bar and then we continued the discussion there.
Wow. Continued the discussion. That's awesome. Let me see here. There was another one that I wanted to say. The rejections from help desk can kill a motive sometimes. The rejections from help desk. Do you mean like getting rejected for roles, help desk roles? Or people rejecting you in help desk? Like clients or something like that. Ali says I'm 10,213 kilometers away. Oh my goodness. Hold on, let's go. Let's remove. Oh, hold on. Where's the freaking banner thingies? Here we go. There we go. Full screen. But yeah, what's everyone working on? Let's mimic a meetup now.
I don't know. I guess I can discuss a little bit because I'm just like I have a new role finally. Like I've been talking. We've been talking about this for
You've
a
been
while
wanting
in
to
previous
move
talks.
for-
I wanted to like move to kind of different parts of the stack. So now I have, and now it's actually my last week now. Like I have my last 3 days at my current company. And I'm pretty happy with the work we've done there because like the team is amazing and we've done a pretty decent job in like setting up all the MLOps pipeline and like a lot of modeling. Like we have like a very good organizational set for the team. But now, yeah, next on May 3rd, I'm actually starting a new job. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Do you want to dive into?
Oh yeah,
Into it
it's
more? 'Cause you
yeah.
told us something that was crazy with like the salary, which I think is, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's just like a market thing because like the market being crazy. I think it's realistic. Like when you move companies, like everyone says that like the biggest way to get a raise is like moving companies, but like the increase that you got was substantial.
Yeah, I got I got like a total compensation. I got around 75%
So that's
increase,
base and you got
base and
stocks?
stocks and stuff. Yeah,
Jeez, wait, you said 70?
75%. Yeah,
75%.
I think it's more 71 or something like that.
Well, just round
But
it.
like, yeah, let's round it
It's
up.
rounded to 80.
Just let's work in quarters and it's 75. Yeah.
Geez, that's what was the interviewing like? Like, did you interview like at a bunch of places or? Like,
Yeah, so I was interviewing a bunch of places, and my primary thing was like I just really enjoyed the company I decided to go for. Like I was in the middle of a little bit of other different, like even slightly larger companies, but I decided to go for more startup, like Series B startup here in New York because of like culture, the specifics of like the work that needed to be done and what like the tech stack that they're using and so on. And but yeah, like primarily like I managed to find like a good spot in terms of like my expectations, because like that's basically what all of the companies I was discussing with we were landing around. And that's definitely like and I mean this is like an increase post like prior to an increase on my current job. So I'm talking about like the salary that I was having right before, because I was starting the review process on my current job. So that probably would have increased. I don't know by how much because I didn't go through. But definitely there was like an increase. But yeah, it's been a pretty substantial increase, I would say.
But I mean, that brings up a good point where it's like, there you get to a certain point in your career where you make moves that I feel like a little bit more strategic in terms of like it's not all about money, it's not all about the salary, it's not all about being at the largest company. Like you had like factored a couple of things into
Definitely,
where
yes.
you're at now.
Yeah, I definitely there is like my biggest consideration were the tech stack overall, the understanding of like how the team works. Because the thing is that like here I was interviewing with the CTO, and other companies I was like degrees removed from like the like upper management. So it's like another like obviously you get this type of experience primarily like in smaller company. Like this company is like around 120 people in total, which is not small, but it's not like an Amazon or something. So definitely there is a different thing, because like having a direct discussion with the CTO made a big difference. Like having an interesting talk with him, discussing with all the folks on my team, back and the front end, and other parts of the team as well. It just like made a lot of sense for me, because it seemed to be like a good way of like handling like a new job, like in a new part of the tech stack overall for me, like in terms of like full-time experience. So it just like was a number of things that made it. And the salary is good. Obviously, definitely like having helps, especially in New York. It helps a lot, but overall it wasn't the key maker. Overall,
did you get asked algorithm stuff and like leak code stuff for your interview?
The funny part is no. The interview, the way it worked was there was like a kind of a screener that I didn't really exactly do, because I one of the person that work at the company is a AWS community builder, and he just posted, "Hey, we're hiring here," and we just had a long conversation with him that kind of acted as the screener more or less. Then we had a mutual code review, which is a pretty interesting approach, where you bring your own project, you discuss and show your own project. You just walk through issues that you had, a bunch of different things that you did with your code, and then they provide something that they have done, and ask you how you would have solved this type of position, but it's like extremely relevant to what you're doing. So just to answer like right away for Rodney, I'm gonna be a like lead front-end engineer. So I'm gonna be working primarily on React, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, GraphQL, bunch
all
of
your favorite,
all of my like that's literally like that's the
literally
stack that I've been using, like all of the literally everything of my favorite stuff. So I will be mostly working. So we were discussing about like features on like a feature. How did we implement it? So like, okay, so there is this problem that we are having. How would you go about solving this specific issue in the front end? And we discussed something like that. And then there was a Scrum team discussion. So basically there is a post-mortem, but it was a pre-mortem basically. So it was a feature that they already built, but you fake it so that like, you basically look like you never built it. So you just want to come up with how you would build it, but with back-end engineers, front-end engineer, project manager, engineering manager. So with the whole team, just to start the idea on like how to come up with a feature. So it's called a pre-mortem. Like it's not specifically called a pre-mortem, but I guess it's a pre-mortem. It's a post. You take a post-mortem item, but you make it before. So it's a pre-mortem.
That's a refreshing take on interviewing process.
Oh yeah, that definitely was another big part, because I felt it was less of a like relevant machine in a like cog in a machine.
Mhm.
And it was more about, hey, I want to know what, because this is gonna be what you're gonna be doing, so I
Yeah.
want to know what you're gonna be doing.
Mhm.
And to me, that felt much more personable than going like, okay, here we are with the stupid like tree graph, like let's build let's reverse the graph and stuff like that.
Did you do any other interviews where you did any
There's
algorithms or stuff?
kinda there's I did at least one of them where there was like this, but it was more front end oriented because I was primarily looking for front end stuff. There
Mhm.
was some discussion about also cloud related stuff because of like obviously a lot of like the cloud related discussions, but it was mostly like front end related, but it was it wasn't super lead codey because
Mhm.
of front end, but it was more of a interview here is that something, build that something, instead of like let's discuss about something that was already there so you know what you're talking about and you can show your own code and so on.
Mm.
Very cool. Is it larger or smaller than your previous company?
It's smaller. It's a series B. They recently raised a series B. It's 120 people. My previous company is like 250, 300.
Okay, so you've done small, medium. You think you'd ever do like
I've done
big?
a larger one
Yeah.
that like before that it was like around 500, 600 people too, but
So,
it's not like majorly large. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know, probably I would like to eventually, but for now I feel like there is more growth at a smaller company because there is like you have a much more take on like the decision making early on. And
Yeah.
I feel like for me that's where I wanted to be for getting all of these experience down the.
I was about to say, and like, so my sysadmin to cloud engineer gig was at a medium sized company, and it was earlier on in my career, and I felt like that was just like the perfect fit because I was close enough to senior engineers and to like the CTO where I could get like immediate feedback and like immediate help and things like that. But it was also like being early on in my career, there wasn't like too much pressure. I mean, you're later in your career and you're more senior level, but like that size company, like it was perfect for me. It was absolutely perfect. It was like a solid 2 years of just like everyday kind of learning, and there's like tons of opportunities because you wear like a bunch of different hats and stuff like that. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not telling people to not interview at big tech. If you want to, absolutely go for it. But I just feel like there's so many jobs out there that are like true gems in terms of like, oh, this is gonna really help you learn.
Yeah, I feel like it's important to look. There is the holistic view on what a job can bring you, and for me, like the fact that like there was a lot of like there was the confidence only, also like about the fact that like I don't have like only front end like front end only experience before, like I've done front end stuff at work like extensively, but I wasn't like a full time only front end person.
Yeah.
So I was doing a mix of back end, front end, and everything. So the also the confidence in giving me the job without that only front end experience like other people might have, I guess like for me was very valuable because it made me feel more like listened to, because I did mention like I basically like, and you guys know, like I basically like working front end for like what, like 4 years or something, and we've been like only working front end related stuff. So that definitely was another thing that probably a larger company would be more interested, because they have so much larger pool of candidate that they would, if you don't fit to a T, is like I don't care.
Did did any of your certifications come up in any of your interviews or anything like
I,
that?
I guess the AWS community builder thing came up
Okay.
because and that was interesting, and a lot of like the public learning stuff came out as well. So those are the main thing that came up more than certification. Certification, I don't think anyone really mentioned this specifically. They just said, "Oh, I like AWS stuff," which is nice because it might be we're moving towards AWS, but it wasn't like oh, AWS because of the certification.
Interesting. So yeah, it's all about that like learn in public, or that, I guess for lack of a better word, brand, or like these community programs that you can like get in. I know to the community builder ones you can apply for them. I
Yeah,
don't know how often they open.
I think it's like twice a year or 2 times a year, maybe. I think it's 2 times a year, like
Yeah,
twice a
Yeah,
year.
it'll be
It's
open
actually
soon
pretty
now.
soon. Like you
Yeah.
can actually sign up if you want to, and Let me just find it.
I remember around this time last year, I applied and got into the AWS community one, which was interesting.
Oh, interesting.
But you get like a bunch of good, like you get community access, you get credits, I think you get access to like private events, right? Or
Yep.
Yeah, you get
non-public events, yeah.
you get free certifications. You get a bunch of stuff.
Swag, all the good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, everyone will highly recommend. And then, do you know, Rishabh, if GCP has one? Like this one? I know they have developer
They have
experts.
developer experts.
That's-
They don't have anything for cloud yet.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, like honestly, I think everyone should like try at least to do something like this, because that's just like it's. I'm not saying it's easy. Like obviously, you have to, you know, build stuff online and share and blog and whatever it might be. But in terms of like what you get in exchange for it, I think it's a fantastic program.
Yeah, I just love the $500 credit that you get.
Is that
It's
Already,
yeah, you get
yes.
every year you get like if you
And it
because you
doesn't
can.
expire.
I think it's actually does expire, but it's a pretty long expiration term.
Because my last year's, like, I only used, I think, $100 or maybe $150, and then I got another 500 this year, so now I have like, I don't know, 900.
Yeah, I got
worth of credit.
Oh, it rolls over.
Yeah,
I also have like I have a stupid amount of credits because I'm also in the AWS Customer Council. So they send me surveys basically every week, and they give me $50 a week basically in survey credit, or like $25 or something like that.
nice. But yeah, you get some money to play around, deploy those huge VMs.
Yeah, it makes a significant difference when you like don't have to care about.
Mind that crypto.
You just look. Someone said something about your beard, Rishabh. You thought it was Drake's cousin. Oh, I thought that was kind of funny. The chat's like being quiet today. I guess they're just interested in what we have to say. Hearing about this. Anyone have any interviewing questions now that we have like Alpha on to talk about it? If not, we'll just talk about whatever we want. I think someone said something here about where was it? Oh, here. Pop OS. Have y'all played around with Pop OS lately? Do y'all recommend it? I haven't lately. Maybe it's been a year since I've used Pop, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Jeremy, who is like one of the lead engineers. So I, from the last time I used it, I would recommend it, but that was a year ago. So
yeah, I would recommend it. I think their latest build, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's right. Weren't you doing like some testing for them or something like that?
Yeah. User case studies. I don't know what the exact term was, but yeah.
Do they have any major differences now?
They have. They're trying to make it more like they have more productivity kind of features like Windows.
Oh, I think they're trying to make it like
yeah.
people's default, like you know how Ubuntu sort of is like.
Yeah.
I
definitely would recommend it over Ubuntu now, and that's the thing. Like you get used to it.
Yeah.
And for me, like the out of the box driver support is huge when it's with Linux, and I haven't had any challenges. And to be honest, like I'm not being paid to say all of this.
The only issue I had was Bluetooth audio.
Yeah,
like
I have issues with this AMD graphics card that I have.
Yeah.
But AMD is also known to have issues with Linux distros for their drivers.
Yeah, but overall, Alf, have you used it anytime lately?
I have not really used any Linux related stuff recently. I'm not gonna lie. I've been mostly like focusing on re-getting my Mac related stuff in place. Like I've been using a bunch of different Mac related stuff that are pretty interesting, like things like Fig or like a few different terminal emulators on Mac that are pretty good. But I have not used the Linux related stuff in a while.
How's your M1? You have the M1
Max? Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. It's such a good machine. Like I think I don't even know. I might even just like use it for my new my new job because it's just like such a good machine. Like I almost don't use my big computer here
Oh my
anymore.
god.
I
I'm
only
the,
use it for games at
Gwen
this
is at the
point.
same stage.
I'm
I
the
think.
same. I use
Yeah.
the 14-inch, and then my PC is just for gaming. But
Yeah.
lately, I got a Switch, so lately I've been playing games on the Switch more. And then I feel so bad because I see it every day. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, there's like thousands of dollars in that machine. I'm like, oh,
I know. It's a like I have like a 3080 Ti and everything, and
oh
now I
yeah, I
play,
forgot you had that card.
and now I play only like I play Elden Ring only recently, and it's on PS5, so I only play PS5 if I play. But okay,
Yeah. I guess that's what also missing is we used to play. We used to
yeah,
game.
We used to
yeah.
game more, yeah, yeah.
Gotta. We can start back. I'm down to replay. Play. I am always down to play FIFA or something.
Volta, we gotta play Volta.
We gotta play Volta, and we have to recreate the match, the exact match that you guys played in real life.
The 10-4.
Dude, I don't know. It just worked out. I don't understand. Honestly, it was like just like I don't know how it worked out that well that game.
No, that's awesome.
It was
And
it
also,
was a tough one.
I'm also playing volleyball now that you, Rishabh, are a volleyball player. Now I started
my
a
God.
volleyball league too. So
So next time I'm in NYC, you gotta watch out, right?
yeah, when we're gonna go play volleyball.
How is it? Like, is it as intense as like footy can get?
No, really. It's more like relaxed, but it's also like it's. I feel like the league that organizes that it's it's more like it's like middle-aged folks partying. I don't know because it's like there's music and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
there is usually music in volleyball.
okay, interesting. Because to
Yeah,
me, I
like
was like,
ours
I'm
is.
there, like focus, and then I enter, and it's
What
like
kind of
there's like
music?
pitbull and shit like that. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. That's what volleyball is. About.
Dale.
I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I have been
Culo,
playing.
yeah.
I've been playing competitive league, and there's still music. And
Okay,
every time there's like 7 or 8 Pitbull songs that will come on.
Yeah, I was thrown off at the beginning because I was like, oh wait, I don't know. It's like I thought it was gonna be a little bit more like
Yeah.
something. Instead, now
And then
now I
because
know. Now I know.
You're in Ontario, and then Drake's gotta come on, and then you have the Weekend come on.
Yeah,
And then
obviously.
it's all-
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't
Nice.
know.
And now, well,
Hopefully, it doesn't
now
get
I know.
as intense as your soccer game, as Gwen was saying, because it would not make sense. Like people are coming over the net and like kicking you in the face.
Yeah, I know the people getting like mad at each other and they're so Culo. No, that would be a little weird.
Joven says, I recently got a new job after a year and a half of studying. Nice. Transferring from property management to build automation. Thank you for your encouragement. That's a big jump.
Nice stuff.
That's a jump.
Property management to build automation. That is tell us how you did that. Let us know. Like a year and a half of studying. What did you study? I'd love to know that. That is a massive jump because that's not like tech at all, right? Property
Yeah.
management.
Write a blog
Yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah, write something and then share it with us so we can share it. But that's crazy. Someone says here there are
Yeah, I
Google
was
Cloud
reading that.
communities out there. I mean, there are. But we're talking more specific about the
There
like
is a
the
program
programs.
specifically
Yeah.
Yeah.
by the company. Like AWS has a community builder program that is a program that AWS pays for and sponsors and everything. I know that there are some Google developer groups, like you mentioned, that you organize the one for Emirates, but they're more like community organized events. These are community builders for AWS, which is like you don't work for AWS, but like AWS gives you money to do stuff specifically.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know, like sort of like advocate in a way, kind of. Not. It's I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you're an advocate. It's like you just get extra tools to do things that you do normally. It's just like creating a more organic. It's kind of like it's not exactly organic because you're kind of paying someone to do something.
getting
Not paying. You're not paying, but you're like
There's
providing like tools,
or-
perks.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like it's like I don't know. It's like a plant starter. It's not fully organic, you know.
It's like
You're putting like the enriched soil for but then people get started and building stuff together.
Yeah, they're solid. So everyone should go look out. I would say, I mean, AWS being like I think the most accessible one, and Microsoft doesn't have one that's like as easy to get into. Well, not to say it's easy, but like you have to get nominated. There's this thing called Azure Heroes though that I just heard about. I'm gonna Google
Yeah.
it right now because I don't know what that is. I don't know if they offer perks though. Azure Heroes.
I haven't gotten any perks.
Oh, you're an Azure Hero?
Yeah.
Rishabh, you're everything, dude. Didn't you just tell me you're just like a GitHub thing?
Yeah.
You're like
What's that? What's an Azure hero? Isn't it
I
like
just-
the?
I found it. It's like
the only thing I got is an NFT basically.
no, don't.
No,
It
there
is
is
an NFT because you had to download this wallet to like get your badge.
Oh, this was before like the NFT craze though. Like, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I got this in 20. I don't know when.
What do you get though? Will continue. Oh, it's blockchain technology. I didn't know.
Yeah, so I don't know if how well you can see
It is an
this.
NFT. It says
I
NFT literally
have-
here.
An Azure Hero Builder, and then an Azure Hero Kudos.
Oh, interesting.
What do you
So I'm
get
Builder
though?
163 because they're limited.
Wow.
Ah,
Rishabh.
Yep. And I didn't know what this is. I'm like, this is a crypto wallet, but how is this working? Because NFTs were not
on the
popular.
blockchain,
They were
man.
not there yet. Yeah.
Damn, so we were doing it before it became a thing. Oh my goodness, look at us.
Yep.
damn.
Wow, Rishabh.
And it has some value too. Like it says 0.001 ENG. I don't even know what it means.
This is Microsoft. There's Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program, but not
Oh,
straight to
yeah.
cloud. Yeah, that's great for if you're a student. Go into that. I heard that they just gave out like some new perks to those.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if it's public, so I'm not gonna say it, but like I heard him and I was like, wow, that's like pretty sweet. Same idea as the Google Developer Student Lead Program, both advocating stuff to the students. Yeah, yeah. Student programs are great, and then there's other ones for like not professional,
Non-students,
not
yeah.
non-students, professional. Like, yeah. But anyway, what else is up? The chat's being like, I feel like they're enjoying us just talking about random things because usually they have like
Yeah.
so many questions. Like yesterday was like packed with questions, but it was just me like trying to keep up. And now that there's three of us, it's like
Yep.
no questions. But Ollie was here yesterday. That's cool. I think Tor LA was here yesterday. ZD was here yesterday. All those kinds of things. All these kinds of people.
I had my first Pong game today at the Google office.
Did you win?
We didn't keep score.
Then what
Not
you
for
would
this
do?
one.
What's the
What do you-
point?
What's the
Yeah,
point?
I was
man?
like, hey, do we have?
Did you
a ping
lose
pong
10-4?
place.
I know it'd be 11-4.
Yeah, I said, do we have a ping pong place? And my colleague was like, I don't know, because he's new himself. So we started looking for it because we know where like pool table is and foosball table is. We just don't know where Pong was. So we finally found it, but it was already like 4:50, and I usually like come back at 5. So he's like, want to go for a quick game, and we just went for a quick game without points and called it a day. But yeah, we'll definitely have some matches now. that
you
I know
going-
where the table is?
Are you going in every day to your office?
No, I usually go in 2 days. I want to start doing 3, so like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, because I think Mondays I'm just too lazy, and then Fridays,
Mondays
I'm
are
just-
tough.
yeah,
Mondays are tough
Fridays
to
I'm
go
just
anywhere.
fine at home because again, it's weekend.
Alf, you said you're gonna do high. No, you didn't do hybrid.
It's fully remote. And most likely, it's gonna be most of the time at home, and like maybe sometimes I'm gonna go to the office. It just depends because I would have to figure out with Gnocchi. But I know I'm doing the onboarding in person. So that's so I'm, like on May 3rd, I'm gonna be in person. But otherwise, yeah, I don't plan. Like, I don't want to go like too much in the office, even though it's a very nice office because it's a sharing place, like it's a sharing location. It's very cool looking,
It's like co-working.
it's a co-working. It's called Industrious, and it's on
Yes.
like it's in Bryan Park,
Oh, nice.
so
nice
it's like
location.
right behind you, basically.
Yeah, a couple blocks. Very nice. Damn it, I was gonna ask something. I forgot. Yeah, I've been doing like 2 days in the office. I want to do more because I definitely get more work done and I'm more focused. So I went to the office today, and I left a little earlier than I usually do. I think I left at 3 because I can't remember what I needed to do here. As soon as I got here, I was like, let me take a nap. Like, I was like, damn it, if I stayed at the office, I wouldn't have had this like urge to take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's easier to get in the zone, and then like they have like Xboxes and free food
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So
What I find, so I'm not. I start doing errands, just some random errands around the house.
it's like, oh, let me clean, let me
Yeah,
wash
I'm
the
like,
dishes.
okay, that's a lot of work. I need a break, and then I'm like 30 minutes into, I don't know, washing dishes or something, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I
need
like
to
this.
Stay focused. Yeah.
I saw David Fowler, who's like one of the highest software engineer levels that you can get. It's above principal. I think it's like, what's it? Staff.
Yeah.
He's just on the .NET team. He actually created like SignalR and stuff like that. Really smart dude. He talked about like how he enjoys like hybrid, and like people were like going in on him like, no, like remote should be the option, blah 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 blah, and all these things. And I was looking through the comments and I was like, personally, I really do enjoy going into the office, but then again, I don't have kids. I feel like having kids is like what makes or breaks it for people.
Yeah, having the dog, for example, definitely makes a change, because the fact is like that like eventually he wants to go out and something like that, so you really want to like be mindful of that, because I know like he's not like used to being alone most of the time,
Yeah.
so I have to be conscious of that.
Yeah. So I also feel like, oh, now that I sort of have like, for lack of a better word, all the freedom, I'm gonna like take advantage of it. Because there are things like, I'll run into people at the office, or like I'll meet new people. I saw someone working on Azure Function stuff, and I was like, hey, are you on that team? And then we just kind of like talked about it.
Yeah.
Which is like, you can't just replicate that
No.
online, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I know, and that's why I went in, is like I've been onboarding remotely. Now that I'm closer to the office, I just go in and said hi to everyone, and now like everyone knows who's Rishabh is, and I know like who everyone is, what everyone does, not in just like my direct team, but like whoever sits
People who are near
close
you.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, which is a very cool. I feel like that's the cool part about it. It's like you definitely have so much more opportunities to meet folks,
Yeah.
and like also just create a relationship that are not just like, oh, I know you're the guy I
Yeah.
work with, and then never gonna see you again after. Like maybe there's like because like for example we were talking about how it's in like one interesting part is like meetups and so on, like the fact that you can organize stuff outside of work, with folks that are like interested in the same stuff. It's to me it's like pretty interesting, and but most of the of my team that is here, because most of them are like around the world too, like in Europe, South America and so on. They live in the Upper East Side, so they're here where I am.
Yeah. That's
Yeah. But then, yeah, I think I agree with that, because especially with meetups too, right? So if you keep on doing virtual meetups, I am not a person who would speak up on a
Yeah.
Zoom meeting. I would watch the session. I would maybe comment if I have any question, but I won't speak up and talk to everyone if we are given like a 10-minute kind of thing at the end. Whereas if you're virtually or like physically meeting up at an actual place, like Al said, you go to the bar after like your talks and stuff, right? I think people are more open to like talk.
Yeah, because there's
get to know
less
each other.
pressure, I
Yeah.
think. I don't know. Yeah. Well, that's why we got to do our meetups, Alf. That's it. Decided. We got to do it. There's a good question here that I wanted to talk about. Do you ever have difficulty balancing constantly learning technical topics and maintaining personal relationships? I feel like that's just life. It's not
Yeah,
just
you
like
gotta-
learning. It's
you
just
have
as you
to-
grow.
It's finding the right balance is also learning, I think. Like you learn on the way. There definitely is not right answer. It usually depends on like how your relationship is and how where you want to go also in your career, right? So finding the right balance, I think you just have to like work it out with your partner and also like whatever other relation you have, and also like have clear goals and make sure they know that. I think communication is the key there, but it takes time. Need to be patient.
Yeah, this one is it's a tough topic for me
It is.
because well, I think for everyone
Yeah.
because we have such the mind like I personally have such a mindset of like I will never be in this exact situation that I am in now in terms of like living where I wanted to, working what I want to do, being in the company where I want to be, you know, having all my time to myself. It's like, and if I feel like if I don't take advantage of that to like fully grow into what I want to do, then I'm just I would be foolish to not take like that opportunity. But
Yeah.
obviously, in expense to that and to that mindset, you have, you know, you'll end up having less time for, you know, not just like romantic relationships, but like, you know, I've noticed that I've started to see my parents less, and I've started to see my friends
Yeah.
less because I've been just, like so hyper focused on like I need to make the most out of this. But I've also learned that like people who really do care about you and who know and what you're doing and what you're up to will be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like every time that I talk with like for example like my best friends or my parents, they're always like eager to hear about me, and they're never like, oh, like you've been
You
talking
didn't
less to
show
us,
up.
like we're
Like
gonna be
yeah,
upset, or oh, like if you're not gonna visit all the time then don't come ever. They're like, no, we're happy to kind of see you around whenever you can, and we understand that you're like focused on whatever it is that you want to focus.
yeah.
But these are also people that have been in my life for like years, and I feel like bringing on newer ones, it's tough, and that's kind of like the balance I'm trying to figure out now. Where it's like, you know, being in a new city and kind of like meeting new people, it's like the balance of like, oh, you do have to put in the work to like make new relationships and new friends and stuff like that. But honestly, at this point, it's like, it's not that I don't need new friends. It's like I have great friends, and I have like the social circle that I'm very happy with, and I'm always happy to like have more casual things, more casual friends or whatever it might be. I don't know. I guess I'm just truly happy with where I'm at, and it's like not too big of a deal. Like if I have, I guess, less friends or less relationships.
And it's really, really hard to like disconnect because I think I speak for all three of us. We're like really passionate about what we do. Not
We do it
I
on
don't
our
know
free
passionate,
time.
but yeah. It's like we really love what we do here, and it's really hard to sometimes explain that.
Oh yeah, I
Because
have that issue all the time.
yeah, because it's I get it. It's our jobs, and for some people, their jobs are like just okay, 9 to 5, and that's it. You cut off everything after that, and you're like 100% available. For us, it's different because like we love doing. I don't know. I'll be sitting here on Sundays and Saturdays coding a simple project, even though it doesn't. It's not anything impressive, but I love to do it. Right?
I think that's the big part about it is like the line is not as defined when
Yeah.
you are
Yeah. Of
interested in
course.
what you're doing. Like because there is a point where oh I'm doing this because I need it for my job, but then there is also the line on doing this because that's cool. And that's like fun thing to do, and that's also why like for me like going to like a front end thing I'm a little scared that to me is gonna be like I'm never gonna stop working because it's like I just enjoy that stuff so much that I have to find a cutoff time like because literally when I finish working I hop on like doing front end stuff like I'm doing working on projects
It's
or
a
learning some
circle,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally like to me it was like oh I know like evenings what do you do? I just like study stuff. I read articles and stuff related to it. Now it's just like oh I also get paid to do it, so like oh I'm never gonna stop.
Yeah, it's like it's the perfect situation. And I mean, we're all three of us are in that situation now. It's like, and I don't know. I just feel like none of us would ever want to take it for granted, and our loved ones know that, and like they know that we're happy. They know how hard we work to get here, and they kind of just like, all right, you do your thing. We're here for you. But you know, there are kind of things that you do sort of have to force upon yourself. Like for example, like you know, playing soccer, like
Oh,
Alf
yeah.
and I do, and you like Rishabh, you do it too. Like it's like a weekly thing, which is a great cadence, but it's like not every day, and it's like you know a couple hours a week and stuff like that. And it's like you will have to kind of put these barriers into place where it's like, okay,
Definitely.
you do have like a little bit, and like as we do meetups, even though they're gonna be like tech or cloud stuff, it's still like social. So there's ways of being social while still being, I guess, techie, but
Yeah.
everyone's
And like,
balance.
yeah, make sure to take breaks too. Like burnout is so easy when you are working in the same field that you also love to do outside of work. Like Gwen said, I think last week I played 4 times a week, like 4 times a week volleyball matches back to back because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to see the computer screen another minute anymore. And then when I came back, I was like all refreshed and sat down and was working again or doing something cool. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a balance that's like special for everyone and unique, and it'll change. Like I'm sure in like a couple years I'll be like, all right, I'm ready to like slow down and kind of pay
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
attention to other areas of my life, but not anytime soon. And if there's anyone that doesn't like agree and doesn't see that with me, then they just don't have a space in my life. That's kind of like where it goes, and it's up to everyone to kind of figure that out. But anyway, on to more technical things. How many days does it usually take to finish your cloud resume challenge? How many days did it take y'all to do it? Oh,
Really
Rishabh, you didn't really
depends.
do it, did you?
the cloud resume,
Yeah.
yours, the Azure version, I did it.
Oh, you did the Azure? Oh, that's right. How long did it take
Yeah.
you? I think it took like 2
Uh,
weeks, right?
Yeah, I would say 3 weeks. I was stuck on, you remember the Cosmos DB thing?
Yeah.
And then you posted the video about it, and then I did it. But yeah, 2 to 3 weeks. It usually depends on your like time commitment. So let's say you're a student and you don't work, maybe it'll take you faster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alf, what about you? You did the AWS one.
Yeah, I did the AWS. It took me like 3 or 4 days, I think.
yeah.
Because it's
I think
like
it's-
I was working on it on basically most of the time. I did all the front end in like an evening, and then I just worked on and off on like getting the Lambda set up. I spent most of the time trying to fight the SAM templates because they wanted to
So
use
everyone
SAM.
says-
And but then yeah, it was around like 4 days, I think.
Does the challenge say to use SAM?
To
or
use
you were
SAM.
in-
Like it was
Oh.
specifically asking SAM if I could have avoided, I would have, and I would have done something like Terraform because at that
Yeah.
time I didn't know it.
CloudFormation 2 would have like
Yeah, at that point I didn't know any of it, and I just wanted to learn like I knew that I wanted to learn Terraform. Honestly, now would have been just like so much faster to do it with Terraform overall. I really like the team behind like Sam and all the serverless stuff, but honestly, Sam is, I don't think is still there as an developer experience over like even just like CloudFormation overall.
Interesting.
That's my opinion. Like I just don't enjoy the way they work, the way it's structured a little bit. Like I guess that one of the problems is more about like the documentation, because a lot of like the edge cases are kind of not they're hard to debug without like a very clear documentation. But otherwise, I think it's a pretty like it's a great tool, but just not work for me because there's other tools that I prefer using.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, there you have it.
So average, let's say 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks. Let's say that, right? Which cloud do you find the easiest to work with? I mean,
Alibaba.
Oracle.
That's the second one on the list.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think everyone's gonna say the cloud that they spend the most time in. For me, it's Azure. For Alf, it's gonna be AWS, and for Rishabh, it's gonna be GCP.
Yeah, I think honestly, even things like Linode or DigitalOcean
Oh yeah.
they're
are
pretty-
like they're very easy. Like the thing is that the big thing
they're
about it
overwhelming.
is like they're just compared to the main three, they're just not as many features. So the few feature that you have more time to spend on like experience on those features. So that's the big part about it, and it's just easier to work with when you have less like decision
Yeah.
paralysis, basically.
And underneath, they all will be the same. The good thing about Linode and DigitalOcean is they have all the essential services that most of the companies would be using. So they have like a container orchestration, they have
Usually cheaper too.
VM instances. Yeah, you have storage, block, object, you have your databases, and that's all you need.
But it's like with most things, it's like the problem in going, it might be easier to find them, but then having it's harder to find the expert into them.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit like you can onboard extremely easily on Svelte, for example, but having someone that has like multiple years of experience in Svelte, at the time when something goes wrong, you know to go to, it becomes a little bit more complicated, which is why companies then just rely on larger pools of users and communities, and they go with like for example, like AWS or GCP, like Azure, and the big one, because it's just like it's easier to find solutions to the weird stuff.
Yeah, and at that scale, it essentially becomes cheaper too.
Yeah.
But like Linode has like these like one click kind of thing, like deploy like Nextcloud one click, deploy
Yeah.
this kind of type server one click, which is like amazing.
Mm-mm.
But I think I used Linode like maybe a couple months ago just to try it out. But I wouldn't say easiest. I just say the easiest is because we work with the ones that we work with the most. That's why
Yeah.
we can find our way and things like that. Let's see. Does anyone happen to know if a site reliability engineer position is good to get experience in first, then move to a DevOps engineer position, or vice versa?
I'm gonna say this: in certain companies, those positions
Are the same?
are the same. We had a few site reliability engineers on our team, though our team was DevOps team. So, and a lot of the duties were basically same. The only difference I think was they were on call, we were not.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, I would say look at the job description. But yeah, if you're getting a site reliability
I mean, what's
engineer position, and like you could apply to a DevOps position later.
like what's the goal though? It's like you're saying here, SRE
Yeah.
to DevOps first, or DevOps then like which one you want to go to? Also, neither of these are entry level. Most likely,
No.
it's gonna be tough to
Yeah.
like land these at entry level. And there's a lot of overlap as well. I would say that too. Yeah, like Rishabh, you were saying. But tell us a little bit more about like, I guess what your
What's the
goal
goal?
is,
Yeah,
and then we can probably
the context. Yeah.
Here's another. People are really asking the personal ones today. How are you able to switch between professional and personal life?
I think it was asked when we were answering that.
It's tough. I feel like
I don't know. I feel like mostly, like I think it's a combination. I think I don't know if you ever turn off either, like
Yeah.
consistently. Like
Yeah, it's not a
because
complete
like
shut off.
yeah, there's no like I guess like the only real time where you get into professional only is like when you're like in meetings and stuff, and when you're doing personal only is like when you're, I don't know. For
Occasionally,
me, it's like
maybe.
when I'm like playing soccer. Like I'm not like playing soccer and like doing something else.
Checking.
So and checking like my emails. But like
And
for
Slack.
example, if I'm personal life, like for example, like the meetup thing, like I'm not getting paid to do that, but
Yeah.
I know that impacts my professional life. So it's something I decide to do in my personal life that has some ramification
That
to
is
my
a very good
personal
example.
professional life. Same thing like during my work and such, the fact that like I discuss with my co-workers, like, or there are like the things that are, I don't know, more like a mixers type of things. I know that it's like a professional thing, but the fact that I can hang out with folks like co-workers and such, even outside of like the context of like the work.
Working together.
It's just like if I want to grab a beer with my coworker, it's a beer. It's not like necessarily something that is like professional related. So it's hard to say that there is a big blend between the things, but you don't want to. Like, it's really hard to say when you switch it off entirely. Like, there's a situation where you just don't. I don't know, when I'm in bed.
It's really hard with us because, like, when I think of like us working on either Cloud Code Live or Learn to Cloud, it's helping our professional careers, but it's
On
something that we
personal
do, on our personal time, and it's, I don't know. I don't think you can completely like switch off one thing.
I mean, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like look at us right now.
Especially at the stage we are.
This is our personal time. Alf literally ran home from the soccer field.
Yeah, he still has his
shin guards on. Still has shin guards on, and we're like doing this, and it has like, I guess, some professional context to it, but it's like
Definitely.
a personal thing, right? Yeah, it's a fine balance. I don't even know if it's a. Honestly, to me, I've stopped trying to care about it. As long as I'm like doing the stuff that I need to get done, and I'm generally happy, and then like my loved ones
I think the more you
are happy.
think about it,
Yeah, that's
the more
like
it drives you insane.
yeah. I feel like as long as I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm happy, and like whatever it is, and my loved ones are happy, I'm good. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Because I feel like if you're on social media like a lot, and people will tell you like, oh, work-life balance, and like, oh, don't let like people take advantage of you, and all these kinds of things. It's just like, well, how do you define that as well? Because if you're
it's usually like, I don't know, like if your work makes you, hey, like you don't have any time off because you're like, I don't know, you're always on call, or you're having like weird schedules, and you're always have weird random things that they ask you to do in short periods of time, and they keep you, that becomes a little bit different from professional life balance. But if you have like a work that is considers you as a person, so they know that there is the balance, at the point that like you are even happy to work on stuff on your own if you have time and you don't have anything else to do, and maybe you have something that, hey, I know that tomorrow I have to do this something, and maybe I don't have other things to do, I might just work on it. Like, it's more beneficial for an employer in and of itself, because I know that probably like when I start working at the new company, I'm probably gonna be working on stuff in the evening, and meddling some stuff with components and something, just because it's enjoyable for me. And so just knowing that is I guess it depends if you're in an abusive situation or not. Like, if you're not, it's fine. There's no need to overthink the life balance.
I think you'll I feel like trust your gut. Like, you'll know when you're in a situation where it's like, oh, this isn't good for me. Like, and as much as you'll try to like make it work and fit, whatever, it just won't. And like, you'll know, and you'll notice it. Maybe you'll feel more tired or more stressed, or like you're like, I don't know, you're not being, I don't know, as yourself as usual. Then you'll know that, okay, this isn't working out. But if you're good, if you're, again, like I said, you're content what's going on, you're not feeling burnt out, then if it works for you, it works for you. Rishabh said you probably have to jump off. That's fine if you have to. I don't, Alf, if you want to stay on, completely.
I have time.
Okay, cool. Are you gonna leave now or in
Yeah.
Rishabh? All right, chat.
I'll probably leave now.
Rishabh's leaving.
Bye, Rishabh.
Bye, Rishabh. Let's see here. We got. Do you find smaller projects more relevant, or one larger project like the resume challenge? That's a good question.
I guess it depends on what you're trying to do, because it depends on like the type of. But in general, if you're specifically looking this in the optic of getting a job, larger projects, like a few larger projects, are a little bit more. They are a tiny bit better, just because they just show that you have the control over like a larger like especially for example, if a full stack project, say,
Mm-hmm.
you have control over the back end and front end, and you have control over the deployment, so you know a little bit of multiple things and you can handle them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that shows a lot of things. But if, for example, you're learning something, like for example, I was when I was learning things like GraphQL, you don't need a large project to learn GraphQL. Like you just can learn GraphQL by building like a small GraphQL server and then showing stuff on the front end using GraphQL queries. You don't have to be like a majorly complex project to make it work appropriately.
I think you need like a good mix of both, and it's not more of so like which one is more relevant, like which one is better. It's more of like what you're trying to get out of it. Like you said, like I think larger, more broader, like the resume challenge are great for like lack of a better word, your resume and like projects that you showcase your actual skill set. But like for example, today I was just like looking like minimal APIs, which is a subset of .NET. It's like very specific, and once I figured it, that took like maybe an hour or 2 hours, right? And that I would consider that a project. But is that any less useful than doing like an entire like web application front to end in .NET? Like no, obviously it's like use case thing. But you need both. I think also like once you have like a bunch of small projects, you can sort of maybe abstract and make it like a high level and like put a larger project where you're doing like the CI/CD, the infrastructure as code, you're documenting all those kinds of things. Maybe like after a couple of smaller ones or something like that. But like I think you need both, like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, like if you have like a lot of like disjointed, like disjoint projects, it might be starting to see like, but like you can control a lot of things, but can you like put together a system? But or the other thing is like if you have only large projects, is like are you just like the question can be like, do you only work in one stack and never learn something new and just continue reusing the same thing over and over?
Also, I was gonna say when you have larger projects, you might be able to like maybe like a section, like you'll learn something new and like something more smaller and specific, and like replace a section of your larger project with this new thing, kind of thing, right? So like you kind of like they like feed off each other in a way. That might be another thing to do too.
Yeah, you can rewrite a part of the project into something new, or just get there's plenty of opportunities to make have like one ongoing like a garden project that you continue growing the parts of it over time. But like smaller projects are completely fine for multiple, especially for like content creation stuff, because small projects lead to like writing a blog post, making a video or something. So on that specific topic of the project that you're working on.
Yeah. I apply for DevOps and cloud security positions, but sometimes recruiter will reach out with SRE positions. And job descriptions seem somewhat similar. They are junior entry level positions. Junior entry level SRE roles. Wow,
it's an interesting thing. Like because the thing is that SRE is like it's like the emergency doctors of like the DevOps. Like DevOps, you go to your family doctor, and SRE you go to the emergency doctor type of thing.
That's a great analogy. Yeah.
It's so like the reason why usually SRE are not like super entry level is because it's in and of itself a more like time sensitive and like knowledge, like you need to know where's the problem and solve it quickly. So they assume that you have previous experience, but like there might be also a situation in which they're like, this is like where we want you to grow into, so you may want to just like start shadowing people and like getting familiar with how these things work and so on.
Yeah, and you're sort of like a jack of all trades. Like you have to know a little bit about a lot of things, and you have to be able to be like, oh, I know where the problem's coming from, I'm gonna go. And you have SLAs to deal with and all that kind of stuff, right? So but in terms of like going from SRE to DevOps or DevOps to SRE is like, it's like doable either way you want. And then if you wanted to switch into cloud, I feel like that would be doable as well. I don't see like anyone being better unless you land the role that you want to right away. Obviously that's going to be better for you. But in terms of like a stepping stone, like it's either way, honestly.
I think it's unlikely that you wouldn't do any cloud related stuff if you are in SRE, like if you're doing SRE, so
or DevOps.
So like it would be a very weird thing, like that make you do DevOps only on like local, like local on-premise stuff.
No, I
No,
don't think
that's
so.
at this point it's unlikely.
Even SRE, like your job will be to like, oh, something's down, and most likely that's going to be deployed in your cloud infrastructure. You're going to have to go figure out what what is it that you have to like work on, right? Yeah, you're gonna have some. I guess the difference is like the exposure to cloud, like that level of exposure is gonna be different. But like you're gonna, yeah, at this point, yeah, that's I was saying this on the other stream. Like at this point, sysadmins are essentially cloud admins now. Like to some extent, like maybe not 100%, but you know, now finding a company that has zero cloud presence is like harder than it was a couple of years ago. Are any of you familiar with Azure Sentinel? I'm interested in being a CM engineer. I wouldn't say I'm familiar with Azure Sentinel. I know what it does, but I don't know anyone who's do you say SIEM or CM?
I think SIM. I think
SIEM engineer. I've never heard anyone say that they're interested in doing that. Not saying that that's like a bad thing or anything like that. I've never heard it. But I know Sentinel is like I'm looking it up now. Azure Sentinel. It's like security and compliance and like best
I think it's like
security information and event management. Yeah.
Security Hub on AWS.
Cloud native. That's what it's called. Security Hub.
Yeah, I think so.
Intelligent analysis analytics for your entire enterprise. So it's like threat intelligence, automation, and AI to what? To avoid security problems. Interesting. Sentinel is pretty neat. I've never like used it in depth, but incidents in a SOC, Security Operations Center. Is that what SOC stands for?
I have no idea.
I think it's Security Operations Center. SOC. Security Operations Center.
Security orchestration. I know that Thor is security orchestration, automation, and response, but I don't know what SOC is. There's so many. Oh man, there's so many these short-hand stuff.
I'll have to find someone who does Sentinel stuff and see if I can, I don't know, do like a intro into it or something like that, because I have like no idea when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what we know. Any advice from changing careers from dev to cloud engineer? From dev, like software dev, to cloud engineer?
I'm kind of doing the opposite. I was in ML ops related stuff, and I'm now going full front end engineer. So I guess like the dev experience is always useful, because at the end of the day, cloud engineer is like you're doing cloud stuff to support the work of dev, basically, to a degree, or you're a dev yourself and you're just putting your work on a more reliable infrastructure. Like honestly, the cloud stuff is nothing more than just using like someone else's infrastructure to do the thing that you would do otherwise on your own.
Yeah, if you're a dev, you must have like a bunch of projects. Just deploy them in different kind of ways in the cloud. Like deploy them using like something like containers, and then use different kind of like then use serverless containers, and then use like functions or like serverless functions or stuff like that. Like use different storages, use object storage, use different databases, serverless databases, all these kinds of things. Like if you're a dev and you have experience developing, there's so many ways that you can get hands on with like cloud computing, because like people. I think when getting into cloud, like people's like hardest part is like having projects to work on or like to deploy. But if you already have that down, now it's kind of like, you know, and then get into like the DevOps aspect of it all. Yeah, it's just like project work at this point. But if you have experience already, it's going to be like significantly easier than people who don't have any. And I'm curious if you've had like zero experience with any cloud in software dev at the moment. Like I'm like everyone at this, well, not everyone. I can't say everyone, but a lot of people at this point will like have something deployed, or if they deployed something, or something already exists in the cloud that they're working with. Even if you don't manage it, you know, it's still something that you're working on. But yeah, I feel like that's one of the more natural or maybe simpler transitions. Not to say that it's easy, but it's a lot more straightforward. CIEM is used to review network logs and cybersecurity. Ah, very cool. Yeah, I think I saw at some point someone show it to me, and there was ways of like configuring like, oh, if you can like look through these logs and you see like this kind of stuff in the headers, like mark it for review or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I'm aware of what it does. Yeah, cybersecurity. I don't know anything.
Cybersecurity, yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the thing I have really almost zero knowledge about. Like, I follow a bunch of people in cybersecurity, and to me, a lot of the time they're talking like complete, like black magic stuff, honestly. And I think it's just like a little bit complicated to get started with them because it's like so large of a field because you can be security in so many fields. And yeah, eventually I will have to learn something because it's useful to know, to have the type of knowledge. But yeah.
Yeah, again, to me too, it's like I want to do like a security cert, maybe just like a Azure one though, not like those, because security certs from like what I know, like the big ones, like
They're super hard.
yeah, like people take like months and months,
But even
potentially
I
years.
think actually, as far as I know, like the AWS one specifically, the security one is the hardest one of the bunch.
Out of all the specialties.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I saw someone there's like this blue team certification, and I saw this YouTuber, he it's like it's literally a lab that it's 24 hours. You have to find some sort of issue and then create report around it and stuff like that. It's 24-hour exam, and it's a lab, not like questions and things like that. I was like, that is insane. Though I do wish cloud certifications were like a little bit more like that, where it's like not just questions. It's like, oh, actually build this out. That would be awesome. But yeah, we'll see. It says it uses KQL for querying the logs. Yeah, Custo query language. Yeah, because it's built on top of Azure Monitor most likely. Splunk is a popular SIEM tool in cybersecurity and DevOps for monitoring. I've never used Splunk. I've heard about it. Have you used Splunk, Alf? I've never used it. Just heard.
Nope. I know. No, I've never done much of this stuff. Splunk, I know it. Like, it's very famous in like a bunch of the things that we do, but we haven't used it.
Yeah, same. All right, people, get your last questions in. We've been doing it for like an hour and a half now, so I'm getting tired. I'm sure you're tired too. But cool. Maybe we'll do another one like next week, and then you can finally. Well, I mean, you did talk about your job a lot this time. But
Yeah, I'm starting on May 3rd. I will be discussed. Like, I probably will share about a bunch of stuff on Twitter eventually, because like, who doesn't do that?
Yeah, you
and
have to.
and yeah, it's gonna sooner.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna sign off and maybe be back next week or something.
All right.